give me the right to be a human being. I'm born with that right. Now, you can keep me from having that if you've got all the policemen and all the jobs on your side.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me again. I'm going to bring this video to you in a little bit of a different way, and this is going to be how I bring probably the majority of my videos to you, at least for the short term. The reason being is I think it's still important for me to go out and document, especially how our public officials act, and I'm going to continue to do that and present it. But it's also, we need to start moving people that are concerned into action, and so that's what this new video format is about. So since I'm in the state of Washington, I'm going to focus on that. I would appreciate whatever platform you're watching this on. I hope it's not YouTube. I hope it's one of my many other platforms that I'm on. I've got links to in the description to all those platforms, you know, BitChute, ThreeSpeak, Minds. There's several others, so go check those out, and I would suggest you set up an account and diversify your social media yourself as well. Don't just focus on one. Anyhow, moving on, I'm in the state of Washington, so I think it's important to really focus on what's going here, especially since this was the beginning, the epicenter of kind of the beginning of all this here in the state of Washington, and for the country at least. So here we go. This is a clip from Friday, November 20th from Jay Inslee. He's talking about how he's going to be helping restaurants. You know, he's the guy who shut them down. I just want to say this real quick before I start it. He's the guy who, I think it was about 6 days, the Sunday before this, he shut them down to in-person dining on site unless they are doing, they can only do carry-out service, you know, curbside to-go carry-out service, or drive-through if they're a fast food restaurant. So this is him, you know, offering his help. You know, he's going to help them. So in doing that, he says he's going to limit how much money other people can make. You know, when they try to do business by providing a delivery service, he's going to limit how much money they can make because he's forced restaurants to shut down. There's no logic to what's happening here, and people need to start understanding that and thinking logically and ethically about what our governors and you know, it's not just our governors, it's our governors, our county commissioners, our city councils and mayors, everybody that thinks they have authority over our life because they're in really this organized crime ring that calls itself government, you know. So we need to just stop participating in it and stand up and just say, no, we're done. We're going to live our lives. We're going to be free people. We're not going to hurt other people. And we're not going to take anything from people. We're going to have voluntary interactions with other people. Anyhow, that's enough of that. I'm going to get down off my soapbox. So here I'm going to play a little bit from Jay Inslee. I'm going to try not to react too much so you guys can hear what he's saying and how he's going to help these people that he just, you know, by his decree, as he says here, he has the power to do this, and he's very proud of that. So go ahead and listen.
We'd also like to help our restaurants that now are moving so much to a takeout protocols.
He wants to help them.
And we have seen tremendous creativity by our restaurants to provide nourishment and fun through the takeout mechanism. And
tremendous creativity after he forced them to shut down.
So one of the ways we've focused on is a way to reduce the cost they have when food is being delivered by delivery services. So I have used my statutory authority that I have to issue a proclamation that caps
that power that King Inslee has spoken, as my friend or stately would say. King Inslee says. So, you know, that's what he just thinks that he can just, I think this is what's best for everyone, so let it be so. That's pretty much what he's saying here. That's not how freedom works, people. We need to really reevaluate what we think of freedom in this country. I'm going to address the whole restaurants and bars being closed here in just a second as well.
That limits the fees that delivery services can pay to these hard-pressed restaurants. These services have made it possible for more Washingtonians to continue supporting local restaurants and enjoying their great food. And this is another
total cap of 18% of the bill.
So we put a cap of 15% on delivery fees. It's very reasonable. And we think more restaurants will be able to cover their bottom lines as a result. And it's an 18% cap on all of the charges that you could make to a restaurant.
Of course, that doesn't include the
This is
taxes,
just
which
another
are
way to help the
non-voluntary.
restaurant industry, and I
They
think
go
an
to,
important one,
you know, him and his
given
cronies.
the rapid increase in the use of takeout services. I just want to strongly encourage everyone to help their local restaurants right now.
Yeah.
Look, all of us share one thing in common. We have to eat.
We all show one thing in common, that if you work for the government, you're doing things to take away from the community and damage the community. If you actually live within the community and actually help the community and build the community from within, then you know you're just gonna have to help out more. And instead of just relying on what we take from you as a government and give it to other people, you're gonna have to dig down and find more of that money to now give voluntarily. Because we as a government, Jay Inslee saying, have really hurt these businesses. It's ridiculous. You guys got to understand the logic they're using. There's no ethics and there's no logic. And if you live by natural law and you follow rules of ethics, you know, following good ethics and sound logic, then none of this makes sense to you. And that's why I'm making videos like this as a little bit of a call to action. All right, I'll try to be quiet.
Eat and we like to eat. It's a really good way right now to help these restaurants by doing takeout business. And that can be done very, very safely if we dine with just our households. I just want to reiterate, we'd hate to have really good food.
All right, so I'm gonna stop this right now because I want to focus on something else before he goes on to what he's saying there. So in the state of Washington, like I said, restaurants can only do, you know, takeout, carry out, curbside, stuff like that, and bars are closed. I mean, how are you going to do, unless you serve food as a bar, how are you going to do that as a bar? How are you going to serve, you know, only drinks to go? That kind of is antithetical to other things we, you know, think of as law and order in this country. So anyhow, I want to show you this real quick. This is from the Washington State Gambling Commission. I'm just going to go down here. So because the tribal casinos here in the state of Washington are on sovereign land, they're sovereign nations, they have their own rules that they can use, and they have decided to open up for indoor card tables, card games, things like that. I guess card rooms is what they call them. So right here we have so non-tribal gaming facilities could keep up with this and try to, you know, make some money. They gave them the option of doing outdoor card rooms. So they set up these tents. I've got a picture of one right here. I'll show you real quick. They set up these tents. You can see the walls around it here. Now it says in the rules that I'll show you here in just a second that it has to be only 2 walls around there. But this is one of the tents. This is what they have to do to gamble in the state of Washington. There are going to be like, you know, 3, maybe 4 people at each table. Anyways, let's just move on here. So it says right here, you know, yeah, right here, they have to have no more than 2 walls and provide ventilation. The limitation on walls applies to both rigid and flexible walls. Guests may enter the indoor facility to access the restaurant cage, automated teller machine, and restrooms. Well, obviously the restaurants are closed right now, except for, what's this right here say? Food and beverage service. You must always offer food and or beverage service for on-premises consumption. Gambling activities are operated where gambling activities are operated. And you use very good English there. So this is the actual RCW right here. Social card games, punch boards, pull tabs are authorized. The legislature hereby authorizes any person, association, or organization operating an established business primarily engaged in the selling of food or drink for consumption on the premises to conduct social card games and to utilize punch boards and pull tabs as a commercial stimulant to such business when licensed to utilize blah, 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 blah. So what that's saying here is if you're a casino, you have to, it's basically saying if you're another business that offers food and or drinks on site, then you can also operate as a casino. So in order for these casinos to stay open, they have to offer on-site drinks and or food. So if you want to have a drink in the state of Washington, you can't go to the bar. These casinos have invested a lot of money in their tents that they have set up. They have heaters in there. They have these tents set up in their parking lots. Go there and have a drink. Why not? The state, it's you know, you can even be a rule follower and do this. You don't even have to be, this isn't even a protest. I mean, this is just following their own rules. So I just wanted to point this out to everyone. I thought that was ridiculous. I'm going to move on, and then I'm going to make a comment about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and I have a little call to action for everybody.
food from a good restaurant, have a takeout experience, and then have, 4 or 6 people around a table in someone's home infecting each other. That's not what we need. So let's help our restaurants. Let's use takeout, and let's keep it in our households.
4 to 6 people.
We don't have more transmissions of this potentially fatal virus. This proclamation I made also prohibits delivery companies from shifting the difference in the costs onto their workers. Yesterday I sent a letter to our...
Okay, so I'm going to stop it there because he's talking about other stuff now. But I just thought that was really funny. How he, again, at the end, he made a comment about he's making sure they can't just shift this, the companies can't shift the cost of this onto the workers, so the workers can still make money, even though he's going to limit how much money they can make because he closed down restaurants and this is the only way they can operate. So anyway, you heard there, he made a comment about 4 to 6 people sitting around eating this delivery food that they've ordered. Well, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. He's also said he doesn't want families gathering and having a Thanksgiving dinner. He doesn't want families and friends gathering. He can't tell us what he can do on our own private property. He can't tell us what we can do in our own private lives. That's part of the Washington Constitution. I've seen it posted on several social media sites. I'll try to look it up. I'll just post a link in the description to all my sources and the Washington Constitution. You can go look it up yourself, and I encourage you to do that. Anyways, he said he doesn't want people gathering for Thanksgiving, so I say, there is a protest, a gathering, a potluck at the governor's mansion tomorrow in Olympia at 1 p.m. So if you're in that area, I encourage you to go to that and stand up and just say, no, we're not participating in this anymore. You have no authority over us. We are free people, and we're not hurting anyone else. If you don't live in the Olympia area and you live somewhere else in the state of Washington, I want you to join this effort. And at 1 p.m., go to your local city hall and either with a dish, a potluck idea, or just go and meet like-minded people that understand that our freedom and our liberty is being assaulted right now. And we need to start standing up. It's not about just holding up a sign anymore and saying, please let us do this. It's about just saying, oh, I'm going to live my life. I'm not going to hurt anyone else. I'm a free person, and you don't have authority over my life. So 1 p.m. at your local city hall in the state of Washington, or wherever you are for that matter, start standing up to these authoritarian mandates that are trying to control our lives and take away our community, our human connection to our community. Start reaching out to like-minded members of your community and building those connections. And do that tomorrow at 1 p.m. Thanksgiving Day at your local city hall, or in Olympia at the governor's mansion if you're in that area. I hope you guys just take heed to this call to action. I'm not calling for any violence. This is civil disobedience. I'm just saying we're not going to participate anymore. We're nonviolent. We encourage voluntary interactions between free human beings. Have a great Thanksgiving and live free. Thank you for the continued support of my channel. And if you want to continue to support alternative and independent media like myself and others, I suggest you diversify your social media and get on censorship fighting platforms like BitChute, ThreeSpeak, Minds, Library. You can find me and other freedom-loving journalists there. I also have links to PayPal and cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Monero, and others. Look in the description below for links.